What's going on, everybody? If this is the first time at GmiasWorld, I do NFL recaps for the NFL seasons dating back to a couple years ago. You can go ahead and check out those past ones if you want to know the type of commentary you're going to be getting before you get it. I also do Madden commentary for Madden 16, Madden 15, going back a while now, and several other type of videos that you guys can check out on the channel while you're here, as well as other podcasts about other issues that go on in the world all over the place with my opinion. The reason for these recaps is to just give you my personal opinion about each game. I'm able to watch each game due to the technology we have with satellites, and get as the games are going on. I don't usually just sit and watch one game. I flip through, get a little bit of gist of most of the games while they're going on, and I really enjoy the game of football. I do not have a favorite team, but at the same time, I like to critique what goes on in the league. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and just jump into what started off the NFL season for 2015. Pittsburgh Steelers at New England. I expected this. I expected Tom Brady to come out like a bat out of hell and just dot the Pittsburgh Steelers up. Big Ben looked like he was fresh off of raping a couple chicks in the bathroom. He wasn't anything like he should have been. Pretty much it was a situation where it wasn't a good day for anybody to be playing New England. We knew about Deflategate, all the things that were going on with it. Several other issues happened. When they attacked the Patriots, they lost picks. They were fined $1 million. It wasn't going to be a fun time for anybody that had to open up the season against the New England Patriots. So I was expecting this ass whooping to happen. The score looks kind of deceptive because Gronkowski went off like a maniac. He even recovered that one fumble that the running back dropped by the end zone. Gronk was on. So with that being said, a lot of the Pittsburgh Steelers fans that they had some questions for me. What do you think about the Steelers? I don't know. I think their defense is very, very fast. I think they are missing Polamalu just for the simple fact that you can't just replace the leader that's been there for so long. It just doesn't happen like that. So I have to make sure everybody really understands what's going on with that when I say it. It's sort of like what's going on with the Seattle Seahawks right now and Cam Chancellor. Like, you can't just replace Cam Chancellor. I know I'm not taking any away from the Rams win. We're going to get to that in a second. But at the same time, we have to understand that it's specific people that make teams operate the way they operate, and there's nothing that you can do to replace them immediately, unless you get lucky. But this game had the writing on the wall. For the guys that betted and got a push, because I think the line was +7, yeah, it sucked, bro, because that last second touchdown at the end of the game, it made somebody happy, but it wasn't. I don't know. I guess they just make shit like that happen based on whatever's going on with the betting, because that didn't make any sense to me. New England completely dominated this game, even though, well, I can't say completely dominated because the Pittsburgh Steelers kicker should be probably tied behind the back of a pickup and taken for a ride. Those missed kicks, I think he missed 2 in the beginning of the game. That came back to haunt the Pittsburgh Steelers. I believe it's Josh Scobie, who was at one time a big-time guy in Jacksonville, if I'm not mistaken. But before I say domination, it wasn't. Let me just take that back. Pittsburgh Steelers played well enough to win the game. It was just that whenever Tom Brady got the ball, he did something with it. And when that's happening, it's very, very tough to do anything else. It's very, very tough to, counteract it. And that's why I'm saying the score is very deceptive, because at the end of the day, the New England Patriots defense did what they were supposed to do and held them to a field goal. And they missed those field goals. So that's already 6 points that I can remember with the 2 missed field goals. That's 27. It makes the game different at the end. They can go for 2 and tie the game. So, the kicker and the extra point being all the way back to the 33 this year is going to have a big, big impact on a lot of games, as we see a lot of kickers are just missing those extra points. It's not automatic anymore. It's just not automatic. So we have to look out for that and make sure we understand it before we start looking at games and just saying whatever. It doesn't make a difference, bro. These kickers are garbage, and they were getting away with it for a long time by kicking from the 2. Technically, like from the 8 or 9 or whatever, depending on where the snapper snaps the ball to the holder. But it's a very interesting thing that's going on right now with these kickers, and we're gonna see who can really kick and who can't. Pretty much. So if you got a bad kicker on your fantasy team, do what's right and get rid of them now. But overall, the Pittsburgh Steelers didn't look as bad as everybody's saying that they did look. What is that? D'Angelo Williams that's over there? Is that D'Angelo Williams that's over there looking mad old, but it was fast as shit, for the Pittsburgh Steelers? He looks really good. For 32 years old, he looks really good. So I can't really say that they played bad. they lost the game. They just outright lost the game. And I blame a lot of it on the kicker, as should the Steeler fans. For New England, it was very funny to not see Roger Goodell at the game. You know, usually the commissioner's at the first game. But he knew what he did, and it's been overturned. And I'm not going to say that Brady didn't have anything to do with Deflategate or whatever like that. I'm just going to say that it wasn't that important to do something outside of what the rules were just to attack the Patriots. The Patriots are going to do stupid, shady shit all the time. You can get them. You know what I'm saying? You can get them. Just watch them. They're doing it outright. It's crazy shit. I think at this game they were doing something with the headphones, allegedly. I don't know. They're going to be doing dumb shit all the time. But you got to be careful how you attack people. And that was a very foolish way that the NFL went about it. And you don't go after the golden boy like that. So that being said, it was a great game. I enjoyed it as the first game. But Gronk is the best tight end in football, in my opinion. In my opinion. You guys can go ahead and leave whatever you think about it. But I believe that Gronk is the best tight end in the NFL at this current point. Buffalo and Indianapolis. I hate Andrew Luck. I'm going to tell you why. I drafted him very high in my fantasy league, and he just went out there and just laid a fucking golden goose egg from Angry Birds. He pretty much sucked, and I don't know. I don't know exactly how this thing is going on with the Colts. It's really, really crazy how everything is transpiring right now, and I don't understand what's really going on in Indianapolis. It's really, really starting to trouble me though, because it's becoming a situation where we have to understand that these guys are not what everybody is saying that they are. Listen, Andrew Luck was just throwing the ball like a fucking idiot. I don't know what the fuck he was doing. I have no idea what he was doing. I don't know why he was on the field that day. I don't think he was ready to play. I think he was too busy recording DirecTV commercials before the game started. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I don't know what the fuck is happening. You know, Frank Gore looking ugly on the sideline. He's injured. Bro, listen. If you're gonna go and you're gonna leave the 49ers, who won last night, if you're gonna go ahead and run around looking ugly, Frank Gore, you got to be out there. You can't be on the sideline looking like a gorilla, and fucking the team is just playing like shit. But that is not to take anything away from the Buffalo Bills, because I thought Rex Ryan became a dickhead after the first two seasons in New York, and I didn't know what was gonna happen with Buffalo. But I'm gonna tell you this right now. The Buffalo Bills look really, really good. They look really, really good. Tyrod Taylor, LaShawn McCoy, but I think the second string running back, I can't remember his name. I think he's actually better than LaShawn McCoy. So that makes their running game even more dangerous. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know what's gonna happen, bro. But the Buffalo Bills look that real deal. You know what I'm saying? I based on the way that they played, I don't even think the Colts should have scored that game. I'm going to be very, very and extremely honest with you. I don't think the Colts should have scored. They played like shit. The defense bottled them up. There was nothing he could really do. Rex Ryan was showing a lot of emotions like he really does with the players. He's a little bit more loose, but he's a player's coach, and they respond to it. You know what I'm saying? So it's that type of thing where we have to understand that it's very, very interesting. It's very, very interesting that Rex Ryan goes to Buffalo, and now the team, Buffalo always had a great defense. But now, some players like specific type of coaches, and it looks like it's working out. It's actually working out for them. It's starting to come together in a certain type of scheme to where, it's developing into something that these players were looking for. Because in some cases, players don't respond well to strict tight ass coaches. And Rex Ryan is a douchebag, and he applies that douchiness to the team, and the team responds. And when I say douchebag, I just mean a guy that jokes around a lot. Like, I may be considered a douchebag. I joke around a lot, but when it's time to get down to the nitty gritty, I'm about, let's get it. Let's go get it. And that's pretty much what Rex Ryan is. I just thought it was too old. It was getting too old for the Jets, and the Jets needed more solid coaching. That's my opinion. But this was an onslaught. This was like straight come in, bend over, let me do my thing, and I'm leaving. What happened to the Indianapolis Colts. And I'm very, very disappointed in Andrew Luck and what he did. And he's throwing picks to Darby. Listen, Buffalo Bills look good. There's nothing to take away from anything else like that. They look good. Honestly, they look really, really good. Green Bay at Chicago. Okay, we know that Jordy Nelson is out for the year. but I did not expect James Jones to turn into a fucking Randy Moss in his prime. Like, bro, this guy is catching passes, jumping up in the air like he's that dude. Wasn't he just on the Raiders and he sucked balls? I don't even know. Look, this is evidence to show people that the quarterbacks make the receivers. The receivers don't make the quarterbacks in most cases. Dante Culpepper was a bum, and Randy Moss made him. But Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is really just a really, really good quarterback. And that's all I can't really, there's nothing else I could justify or say about this. I'm telling you right now, Aaron Rodgers is a really good quarterback, man, because James Jones was running around like a straight bumburger bitch wherever he was at. The Raiders, I don't know where he was at. And that was a turning point of this game. Eddie Lacy pretty much didn't do shit. He just went around fat. I think I drafted him too. I don't even know, bro. What was I doing, man? It don't really matter. It was week 1. We got to get it out, breathe, and we got to revamp for the next week of fantasy. We got to pretty much breathe. The Chicago Bears, Jay Cutler is going to be Jay Cutler, but I don't think Jay Cutler played as bad as people may accuse him of playing. After watching this game, I think Matt Forte, he had a couple penalties where where they brought back touchdowns, but he eventually scored. I think Matt Forte looks nice and light on his feet, and he's ready to go for the running game. I just don't think that the Bears have what it takes to do anything, as far as making noise. After looking at the Vikings last night, probably they could take care of the Vikings in their division, but I don't really know. I have to let's take our time with Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler, as always, has a powerful arm, but just doesn't have what it takes, bro. He just doesn't. Listen, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know what he's doing. I'm gonna tell you right now. Look, listen, the man doesn't care. He's paid. You know what I'm saying? I'm rich, bitch. Like, this dude really comes out, and I don't think that he does everything that's necessary to try to win. That's just my opinion. By the way his face looks, he always has a dumb look on his. It's just a lot of stupid shit. So I don't know, and I'm not gonna go out here and say that I agree completely with Stephen A. Smith about him just being a bum, because I think I think he does show that he can make the plays. I just don't know what it is that hasn't clicked off to make him. When he was with Denver and it was that connection with him and Brandon Marshall, that was a really good connection, man. So I know that he has the potential to do it, which is what that blind guy that signed him to that ridiculous contract in Chicago saw. But at the same time, he's Jay Cutler, man. At this point, he's useless. I'm gonna be honest. But on another note, the Packers are finding a way to survive, and that's key. Guys are gonna get injured. You know what I'm saying? Guys are gonna get injured, and you're gonna have to find a way to do things about it. You're gonna have to find a way to make things happen. And I think James Jones may be able to fill some of the void with the way he was playing. The motherfucker, look, I'm telling you, bro. If you guys didn't see that game, I could not believe that was James Jones. It was ridiculous. So maybe they found something that they can use to go ahead and continue to go forward with the game. Kansas City at Houston Texans. There's a reason why most people don't think that J.J. Watt is the best player in the NFL. And it's because at his position, he doesn't change the game enough to result in wins. And this was another depiction of it. The Houston Texans were getting blown out. This is another score where it's like really, really deceptive. Because, Jamal Charles and all them boys, they too fast. Screenplays was killing them. Guys were getting dotted up. It was this game wasn't, the ending score doesn't reflect what was happening in the game. I don't really understand what the Houston Texans expect. They still don't have a real quarterback. I don't know exactly what's going to happen with them, but I'm just saying, out of fairness, J.J. Watt is the best defensive player at his position, but I don't know if he's the best player in the NFL. Because when you're that great, it has to result in wins, and it's very difficult to result in wins when you're at that position and your team is not really doing as much. As far as the Kansas City Chiefs, they look good. It was pretty much a situation where, I was very like, wow, the way they were moving the ball, the way things were going on, it was seamless. It was like they were ready to go. Andy Reid is looking as fat, fat as usual. He had a bunch of cheesesteaks on the sideline. He used to be the Eagles coach, and he's not interested in losing weight, and that's fine. But they played well. They played very, very well. Houston found a way to get back into it late, but it didn't matter. That game was won by Kansas City very, very early on. They just had to, chew the clock and get it over with. And, either one of these teams, I don't think Kansas City's going to the Super Bowl. I'm going to be honest with you. They don't have that fortitude yet. Offensively, I think they can score against anybody. But defensively, there's still question marks. And that's what I'm concerned about. I have to be honest. And I don't think that they're going to the Super Bowl. So let's just put that out there now. Carolina at Jacksonville. This was a shitbox game, primarily because I think Cam Newton is an old lineman that's playing quarterback. He's huge, and that's pretty much it. He's another guy that has let me down since his rookie season. After his rookie season, he hasn't really done anything to show that he's trying to keep going. And I try to tell people that it's very hard to repeat what you do. It's extremely hard. It's very hard to do it. And guys don't understand. Guys don't understand how hard it is to do that. It's a very difficult thing. It's a very difficult thing to get that kind of stuff done. So we have to make sure that that can be done. And in saying so, make sure that we do everything in our power to get, the best results. And Cam Newton, I don't think something's going on with him. Something's going on with him. Without a doubt, something's going on with him. So we're gonna continue to watch him this year, and see, because this is my last year with even trying to analyze what he's doing wrong and what the hell's going on with him. This is my last year to actually do that, because he stands erected like a penis in the pocket. He doesn't move around as much. He does things that doesn't make any sense to me. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It does not. I don't know what the F he's doing most of the time. He stands there and he'll throw a dot right to the defender. Like, he is just so on to the other team. And I don't understand what the hell he's doing. So that's my problem with Carolina. Carolina has no hope of doing anything. Defensively, I don't know how strong their defense is now. The guy that was beating his wife and doing stupid shit, he's not been traded to the Cowboys. I don't remember his name. I don't know how strong the defense is going to be, but, beating the Jacksonville Jaguars, everybody should do that. A team full of grandmothers could beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm not worried about that. I'm more focused on Cam Newton and seeing what he can bring to the table. And that's what the issue is for me. Jacksonville, Blake Bortles looked good for the most part. He looked like he's getting growth, but I don't even know what else is going on with the team. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, watching the Jacksonville Jaguars on offense, I'm pretty much focused on Blake Bortles. If he does something wrong, I don't even care who you throw the ball to. I don't care about that. I just want to see him play, because he's like the shining light that makes it even something viable to watch. Other than that, it's a shit box. This game right here was a shit box. If you're a Carolina fan, bro, it is what it is. You're a Jacksonville fan, it's a shit box. Period. Cleveland at the New York Jets. First of all, let me just say I hope Antonio Cromartie is okay. I haven't really looked at anything after, the game or whatever like that. Didn't have time. I'm going through so many games, doing so many things. He got injured during the game. Johnny Manziel came in there after McNown did a fucking Chung Lee kick from Street Fighter and fumbled the ball, and he's out with a concussion. When Johnny Manziel came in, I thought it was going to be money time, honestly. He was on the run, made a dot touchdown, but after that, they just bottled him up. He's done. The Jets, though, Fitzpatrick, I think he's a better fit for the team than that horse-faced guy, Geno Smith. I don't know, it's not a horse, he's a burnt raccoon. He just looks really, really ugly, and he can't be the face of the franchise because he's really, really ugly. It's nothing against anybody else. Like, if there's a guy that's ugly, you got to let him know. Like, look, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like a guy like Tom Brady. Tom Brady is a very handsome man, so he could be the face of the franchise even if he's a cheater. You know what I'm saying, bro? Mike Vick. People think that Mike Vick is ugly. I don't think Mike Vick is ugly. I think that Mike Vick was perfect for Atlanta. He just had to fucking own a house that fucking dogs were getting killed at. Allegedly. I don't know. But there's specific people that can't be faces of franchise. You know what I'm saying? It's specific. Like, you can't have Terrell Suggs as the face of a franchise. Even though he fixed his teeth. You just can't do it. But the Cleveland Browns look like shit. Even with Johnny Manziel after the first touchdown, he looked like shit. They look like shit. I love their new unis, though. Uniforms look good. They look like shit. I think that's the home jerseys I really like about them, but they weren't wearing them. I don't know. Were they wearing them? I don't remember. I just know I really like those 49er jerseys. The New York Jets, their defense, with Cromartie on the field, I like it. With him and Revis, I like it. There's other guys that were stepping up. Obviously, they caused that fumble. They made great plays. They made great plays. Offensively, Brandon Marshall made a hell of a play. Decker got a TD. I like what I'm seeing from the Jets. I'm still not. It's just something that's making me uneasy about them, though. And I don't know how to explain it, because I'm from New York, so I know what the Jets and the Giants and Buffalo, I know what these teams do. And they make it look like they're doing the right thing, and then they don't do the right thing. So it's something about it. I know it's a blowout, but it's Cleveland. It's the fucking Browns. Like, nobody, nobody really cares about the Browns as much as they're trying to. Johnny Manziel, I think that he might have to be traded and get a new start someplace else. I don't know if he's that same guy after going to rehab. I really don't. But this game made me question a lot of the things. Even though the Jets were dominant towards the end and closed it out, I don't know what to expect from the Jets. I wouldn't be surprised if they lost to teams that were competitive. Let me just say it like that. I don't think that they're that team that we saw on paper. Defensively, I think that they have a lot of holes, even with Revis and Cromartie on the team. And Revis being the best corner right now in the game, I think they have a lot of holes on defense in other parts, away from Darrelle Revis. That Cromartie got burnt. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of shit that I don't know. But even though for all the Jet fans, kudos to you guys, but I'm not really confident in the Jets at this moment right now. Seattle at St. Louis. This game was fucking electrifying. Okay? And I know a lot of people said, look at this. This would have happened in the Super Bowl. It's 4th and 1. Why the fuck are you in shotgun offset? Why are you in shotgun offset trying to run the ball? And then you give it to the running back where everybody is keying in on Marshawn Lynch. You see, that's the part that's stupid. If you want to be spectacular, you let the other guy hold the ball. You let Russell Wilson, who you just paid ridiculous money, who's banging out Ciara and fucking hugging her baby and having fucking Future, the rapper, going crazy, you let him keep the ball because that's more of a thing where the defense is not expecting that. They're expecting beast mode because he's beast mode. That was the dumbest play I've ever seen since the Super Bowl. So they're 2 for 2. And that's what I think that's really affecting this team. And also Cam Chancellor. You can't just replace a guy like Cam Chancellor. And for all the guys that are saying, yeah, he's greedy, he has 3 years left on his deal. If you guys go back to when they were structuring deals, Cam Chancellor took less money for promises for more money later. Do your research before you accuse every one of these players as being greedy. Because you have to understand that they are treated like fucking shit the same way that they try to, they hold out whatever and they're viewed as shit by the fans. They're treated like shit from these owners. Because as soon as it's something else better, they're out of there. So he has to get his money. And he plays very well. And in my opinion, he's the best strong safety in the game. So doing my research, which I usually like to do, before I say something about a player, if you look at the way that deals were structured, he took less money previously to give other players comfort to stay. So does he deserve his money? Absolutely he does. Without a doubt. Absolutely he does. So before guys judge that, you need to make sure you understand that he did, in fact, take a cut at one point. And he is due what he's owed. And the Seattle Seahawks has no Legion of Boom. They have a Legion of Dump, as in shit, if he's not there. Because Richard Sherman got burnt. It was pass interference. They didn't even call it. He wasn't even looking. He just had his back turned. He's not the same guy without help over the top. He's not that kind of guy. He doesn't have the speed. He's long. He's tall. He doesn't have the speed. He's not doing that. As you can see, a lot of the stuff that goes on where guys don't understand football, he's usually in zone. It's usually like kind of zone coverage and stuff like that. He'll play man from time to time when it's time to lock up on the 3rd down, but he's usually in zone with help over the top. When you got Cam Chancellor, you can do whatever the fuck you want because he's so smart. He's reading it. He knows where to be. It's not the same thing. St. Louis has the best defensive line in football. And a lot of people made comments about, they got rid of Michael Sam because he was gay. I can't say for that team that was the case because their D-line is fucking ridiculous. So I can't agree with that. And I think that everybody that's on their D-line is actually a better athlete than Michael Sam. For other teams, it could be a question mark. They just didn't want to deal with it, the attention, whatever like that. But for the St. Louis Rams, their defensive line is very, very good. Nick Foles looks very, very good. The team looks good. Jeff Fisher's a loser, though, at the end of the day. So we saw what he did with Tennessee and Vince Young. He's going to lose. He's not like he's going to really do anything with the Rams. They're going to end up losing no matter what anyway because the coach says it all. He wins games that don't matter. You know what I'm saying? I know regular seasons matter. Don't get me wrong. But he's not a guy that, that's going to take you to the promised land. He's not that guy. I'm sorry about it. Maybe I'm wrong, for the St. Louis Rams fans. I hope I'm wrong. But looking at his face, I can't see it. I just can't see it. Great game. Came down to OT. 4th and 1. Shotgun offset. Hand the ball to Marshawn Lynch when everybody's keen on Marshawn Lynch. That was a great call, guys. You guys are fucking geniuses. I'm telling you right now, bro. It's going to take a lot. Jimmy Graham can't save them. They have to shake what happened in the Super Bowl, and that's a very difficult thing to shake. Trust me when I tell you. It's in the players' minds that these calls are so fucking stupid and it makes no sense. Like, it's very hard to rebound from it. That's all I'm going to say about this game. Very, very exciting. 2 very tough teams. Look out for the NFC West, man. That's going to be a very, very tough division to play in. Trust me, man. That right there, every team is looking solid in there. Miami at Washington. Let me just say this before I get into anything. RG3 needs to be cut from the team because his fake smiles and him holding the clipboard, and he's an ugly guy. RG3 is an ugly man, and you know that he's not really happy for what's going on, and I understand that because I believe they had him scouted as a safety in practice, like he was a safety. Like they just disrespecting this guy. He was like third string safety on the scout team. Like he's just such a fucking joke. He's a joke. He needs to be cut, removed from NFL. He got his money. You got your money. Go be a businessman. Go do something else. This game is not for you anymore. You can't come in and be a runner and all of a sudden now you don't want to be a runner. You want to be a dot thrower, but you can't throw dots. Doesn't make sense. And stop with the fake smiles. Now, getting Deshaun Jackson, I believe, I don't know if he really has a hamstring injury because the way the injury happened, it looked like he didn't want to play with Kirk Cousins. And I would want to play with Kirk Cousins too. He's a bum. Kirk Cousins is a bum. Kirk Cousins should not... Listen, there's a lot of guys that play in the AFL, the CFL that deserves a shot. That would do leaps and bounds better than these guys that are playing in the NFL. And it's very disgusting to me to see that this happens on a regular basis where guys are not getting their shot. Because Kirk Cousins should not be a quarterback on this roster. And I'm not saying RG3 should be the quarterback either. RG3 is a bum. They should get somebody else. Maybe get the water boy or get, somebody that's outside as being just being a real bum on the street. They'll do better than what these guys are doing. Kirk Cousins will throw you a pick when you're standing right there as the other team and putting your hands up. He's a fucking bum. I don't know what else to say about him. I think he's probably right now, next to Geno Smith, one of the most inaccurate, ridiculous quarterbacks that play in the National Football League. Miami, they didn't look as good as I thought they should look. Tannehill, I don't know about him. I don't know about Lamar Miller. I don't know about these guys, man. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. I don't know. I don't know about Joe Philbin, the coach. I don't know what I don't know. And I don't even want to go into it because I have to see more. But I thought that Miami would come out a little bit stronger, put up more points. I thought that at the end of the season, Tannehill showed some life to where he was evolving into a more mature quarterback. I didn't see that against this team. I expected a lot more, and I didn't get it. So I'm brutally honest with it. It was nothing exciting about it. I didn't like it. I really just didn't. I didn't really enjoy this game. Looking at Kirk Cousins, it was so sad. He's so horrible. I didn't really like it. This game wasn't exciting to me at all. New Orleans at Arizona. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but Carson Palmer actually looks like a decent quarterback. I used to call him Girl Knee after he had the transplant with the girl that donated her knee. The family donated the girl's knee. I lost all respect for him after he left Cincinnati because I thought that Hushmanzada and the other dickhead that was, allegedly beating his wife or did some kind of shit that got him cut from the Dolphins after with Ocho Cinco. I thought that those guys made him. He played very well, and I have to give credit where it's due, as I always do. And the team looks really good. I know Arrington is supposed to be out, but Chris Johnson is no slouch. He'll go in there and do what he has to do. Fitzgerald looking extra old. I think he got hit in his penis in this game for what, he ran up the sideline holding his dick. I don't know what that was. They looked good. I liked how Arizona looked. I'm going to be honest with you. Like I said, I think that Carson Palmer sucks, but he played well. And if you do that, I'm going to give you your props. I'm not going to come on here and be a dick and stay solid like, he's garbage. No, he played well. And I think that he showed life. And I think he showed that he can lead this team to at least the wild card. At least. Look, the team looked good. It looked really fucking good. New Orleans. Drew Brees, bro. He looked all right, but I think he's washed up. And I think that he forgot that Jimmy Graham wasn't on the team in the red zone anymore. Like, I don't know what the fuck these guys are thinking. Jimmy Graham is 6'7". That's a big man in the red zone. You don't just replace Jimmy Graham. So you have to remember that when you're in the red zone, instead of throwing picks or whatever the fuck you were doing and throwing incomplete passes and looking like total shit, you have to make sure you remember that. It's a very difficult thing to replace. When you can just throw a fucking fade in the red zone and the guy's coming down with it, when you lose that guy, you have to remember now, I have to score. I have to now do shit. I have to prove that I'm being paid for a reason now. That's a very difficult thing to do for a washed-up quarterback who's on his way out. And I really believe that Drew Brees is on his way out. You guys from, New Orleans, who that nation, you guys are going to read me in the ass? That's fine. But I believe that he's on his way out. He better get every penny that he can get. It's no way. His reads are not the same. The way he's throwing the ball is not the same. His arm strength has declined tremendously. it is what it is. I'm going to be watching New Orleans because I want to see exactly what they do from game to game, but I don't know. And I believe that if Drew Brees is not 100% what he's supposed to be, that team doesn't stand a chance. What was that, in the South? NFC South? They don't stand a chance. Detroit at San Diego. First of all, Phillip Rivers is having like 19 kids next month. That motherfucker always having a baby. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know why he has sex so much. I don't know how he still has sperm in his scrotum. But they were down 21-3 at one point in this game. And they came back like a bat out of hell. Now listen, Phillip Rivers has one of the weirdest and most ridiculous throwing motions I've ever seen. But he's deadly accurate, bro. He's deadly accurate. When he's on, deadly accurate. San Diego showed me something, bro. They can score. They can put up points. It's defensively, Manti Te'o might be seeing shit, but it's defensively that I don't know what's going to happen with this team. But offensively, wow. Detroit should be ashamed of themselves. Matthew Stafford all the way down. Abdullah is a great running back. I think that he's going to be something very special. But, Stafford wasn't able to do shit going on throughout the game after they were up and the comeback started. And, I just don't know what to expect from Detroit. I really don't. And I think they have a team that can make some noise. Whenever you got Megatron, you could do something. Whenever you have Megatron, you can always do something. But when you're up 21-3 and you lose 33-28, it says a lot about, your leadership and the coach, Jim Caldwell. It says a lot. It says a lot about him. You can't go out and lose this game like that. You just can't do it. And they managed to do it. And it's a very sad situation that we have to talk about them losing after they were up like that. But it's the game of football. And you got to be able to do what you got to do. And Phillip Rivers right now, as I'm speaking, is having sex. And he's probably doing it in the anal, but she's going to be pregnant anyway. I think a baby's due this month or something. I don't even know. I'm being realistic. He has like 9 kids, bro. This motherfucker never stops fucking. So he better keep playing like how he's playing to get as much money as he can, because I don't know how he's going to feed all these kids and put them through college. But at the same time, you got to give the man credit. His fire, if Jay Cutler had Phillip Rivers' fire, Jay Cutler would be a monster, because Phillip Rivers wants to win so bad. And that's what I love about him more than anything else. He just wants to win so bad. I don't know, man. I don't know about Detroit, but I can tell you this right now, Detroit fans, don't look forward to the playoffs. Baltimore or Denver. Let me just say this, man. It's such a heartbreaker to know that Terrell Suggs is out for the year. Terrell Suggs is one of the great outside linebackers that ever played the game. When I saw him go down, I was just like, wow. They sacked Peyton Manning 4 times. The defense played out of their mind. I don't know how they lost this game. Peyton Manning played like shit. He has a noodle arm. I don't know why he's still in the league. He should just go sit the fuck down somewhere. But somehow, somewhere, he came out and they won the fucking game. Joe Flacco, he didn't have a lot of targets other than Steve Smith. Steve Smith is a midget. And let me not say midget. That's disrespectful to little people. Let me say little people. Steve Smith is not going to be the guy that you want to target like the way Cam Newton used to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same thing. You're throwing it into all kind of coverages, throwing picks. Can't do shit like that, man. It doesn't really work out. The Baltimore Ravens played well enough to win this game, and this is a heart, gut-wrenching loss right here, because Peyton Manning played horrible. All the fantasy owners knows that. It was a very bad showing. A very, very bad showing from Peyton Manning. Disgusting, if I can say that. And they still managed to pull out the win. And that's what it's all about, man. At the end of the day, we only look at what the numbers say. And they pulled it out. But again, it was just a defensive battle. Wasn't a lot of crazy openings. It wasn't anything like that going on. But Baltimore's defense looks stout, but I don't know what it's going to be without Terrell Suggs. And I wish him a speedy recovery, but he's very old at this point in football years. I don't know what's going to happen next year. We all know that. We don't know if he's going to be able to come back and be the same player, and how much time he has left. But let's just, that's why the NFL players try to get as much money as they can. They look greedy to a lot of people, but it is what it is. You don't never know. And you're out there sacrificing your body every goddamn time. Every goddamn time you step on the field, you're sacrificing your body. You should be paid for it. Cincinnati at Oakland. I'm not going to talk about this game. It's the Oakland Raiders. You know what I'm saying? Aldon Smith was signed there. Bro, he's about to be doing like 19 DUIs a day. The Bengals are not going anywhere. They won this game, but they were supposed to beat Oakland. As long as Marvin Lewis is the coach, the Bengals are doomed. That is all. Tennessee at Tampa Bay. Let me just say this right now. Jameis Winston is a fat fuck and the reincarnation of Jamarcus Russell. That's it about him. Mariota, I've been saying this. Even when Skip Bayless was like, take him number one, take Jameis Winston number one. No, Jameis Winston is a fat fuck. Mariota is an athlete. And I believe he's going to be a star in this league. Mariota is, I don't care what those scientific quarterback ratings were saying and all this other bullshit. Mariota is going to be a star in this league. And the Titans have a lot to look forward to. Because as he grows, the thing that really fascinated me about him, in college, he never played under center. And in one off-season, practice with the NFL training camp, he's doing hard counts like a vet, drawing people off sides. And granted, it's a Tampa Bay defense. Lovie Smith is a horrible coach. He should be fired while I'm doing this podcast right now. Lovie Smith is a horrible coach. He was a horrible coach in Chicago. He's a horrible coach now. But Mariota is what it's all about. Kendall Wright, that dot he threw. I think this team has a lot of potential. I think, congratulations, man. Kudos to you. I was telling everybody you should have been number one. They went with Jameis Rapist Winston, who was stealing crab legs. I tried to say it over and over again, bro. They didn't listen to me. Maybe now they will. It's too late, though. Mariota has a very little around him. And their defense wasn't even supposed to do that well. But because of the electrifying plays that he made on offense, it turned the game around. Kudos to that young man. And I wish him nothing but success. I wish nothing but success for Jameis Winston. But if you're going to go out there and play like that, fuck you, bro. Because you're hurting that team. If you got to step up, bro. Look, in my opinion, you're the number one pick. You got to go out there. You got to step up. Your first pass can't be a pick six. That's all I'm saying. I don't give a fuck. You got to be able to make reads. If you're being paid like that, you got to be able to do your job. Do your fucking job. You suck. New York Giants at Dallas. If I was a Giants fan, I would have just fucking, I don't know what, I would have still been crying right now. The Giants didn't lose this game. Tony Romo won it. And he won it without the diva Des Bryant. Okay? For all the guys that are saying all this shit about Tony Romo, I stopped knocking Tony Romo last year when I watched the way he played last year. Remember, he has a long history. Remember that fumble thing that he did with the field goal when the Cowboys lost way back when? He's been getting fucked over for a long time. But his time has arrived. This man can play football at the quarterback position. Now, the Giants fucking rolling out and throwing the ball and getting an incomplete pass and not rolling time off the clock. Tom Coughlin will be out of the league. Off the Giants. He won't be the coach if they don't make the playoffs. Eli Manning is very stupid for throwing that ball away, though. Either way, you shouldn't have to tell a quarterback that just got signed to an $84 million extension to take a sack in that position. You shouldn't have to tell him that. But somebody has to take the blame. And it's going to primarily go on the head coach and the quarterback. But it primarily goes on the guy that made the call to throw the ball. Well, all you have to do is run it. And then what did he say? What did the running back say? That he was told not to score? Did you guys hear that? The running back was told not to score. That is the most idiotic thing I've ever heard since the fucking play for the Super Bowl. I don't know. I can't understand what the hell is going on in New York. The other two teams did very well. We could have had a threesome. And to be honest with you, they shouldn't even been in the game. It was turnovers that caused them to be even in the game to begin with. But at the same time, it is what it is. He came down, checked down to the running back twice, throws two dots to fucking, Jason Witten, and it's a heartbreaker. Wow. But at the same time, I think Tony Romo deserves it. And it's been a long time coming. It was a hard, bro. I don't think that was pass interference on DRC, by the way, and I actually tweeted it out. And for updates during the game, guys, for anybody watching this, you guys could follow me on Twitter. I do live updates in my fashion that are mad ridiculous, like almost all the time on Twitter at GmiasWorld. You will laugh, you'll cry, you'll hate me, but at the end of the day, you'll understand my point of view. So follow me on Twitter if you're enjoying this podcast right here and this recap, so you can understand what I feel while the game is actually going on. And like I said, I watch all the games as they're going on. Unless I'm not going to be here for some reason, and I'm going to be out on the road, but I still keep the app open, and I'll still be tweeting stuff out. But I was home tweeting like I usually do every Sunday with all the games on, and it was bad. It was really, really bad. Philadelphia at Atlanta. Now, Chip Kelly was looking like a guru during the preseason. You cut Tim Tebow at the end, which I understand. Tim Tebow, he can't play quarterback in this league. He should play something else. The guy sits in the pocket, waits to get sacked. I know he's a great guy. I understand that. I understand that you can't really put a price on what he does in the real game. I understand that. I understand it's unfair to have cut him after he won a playoff game. I know, but just looking at him, he's not a quarterback in the NFL, bro. I'm sorry, but Chip Kelly, bro, you lost to the Falcons, who I thought the Falcons were going to get their ass whipped. I thought you guys were going to go in there and blow them out. You lost. And that's the bottom line. Look, at the end of the day, like I'm saying to you guys, bro, what is the numbers? And like looking at the game, I couldn't even believe that they lost the game. But for the most part, Atlanta looked like they were controlling it for the whole time. So I can't really say that it was a fluke, whatever like that. Great game. They lost. And I'm going all at Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly, you want to cut people, do this, do that, do this, do that. Hold on, wait a minute. That one pick though. That one pick. From the linebacker, Alonzo, that one-handed one in the end zone, oh my God. The one-hander, though, everybody's trying to be like Odell Beckham Jr. Everybody. And yeah, going back to the Giants game real quick, that hit that he took from the safety from the fucking Cowboys, they're gonna fucking try to kill him this year. All that Madden success he got being on the cover and all that shit, they don't like that shit. That motherfucker with that catching ball, they're gonna fuck him up, and he's very frail. He better be careful. But that was the biggest highlight I got from the game with that Philly Atlanta game. That one-handed pick was crazy, but it don't really matter when you lose, bro. You lost. You lost the game. It is what it is, and it's over. The final game, the fucking penis beater, Adrian Peterson, bro. You come out for your debut. You played hard. He had some good runs. He looked pretty good. Bro, you put up 3 points. That's what your team put up. Carlos Hyde ran around like Adrian Peterson. That's why this league is so crazy. You fucking say all this shit about the 49ers, oh, this and that. They fired the other idiot that lost in his first debut in college. And, you know, it's just like, oh, yeah, bro, this, that, whatever. 20-3. 20-3, bro. Minnesota had a blocked field goal on the 49ers. Did all kind of shit. They were playing very, very well. It was close all throughout. Field goal game all throughout. Then it went crazy. And I'll be the first to tell you, I didn't expect the 49ers to win this game. Their jerseys look fucking so spectacular, by the way. I'm not a 49ers fan, but I might buy one of their jerseys because it looks that sick. It looks that sick, bro. But at the same time, man, the penis beater Adrian Peterson, bro, you can't come out and do shit like how look, you didn't do enough. I'm sorry. I don't care. You didn't do enough. I'm going to say it. He did not do enough. Bottom line, he did not do enough. A lot of people drafted your dumbass in fantasy. You come out off after a year off. I know you got to get the spider webs out. You got to get your little fucking old bones working again and shit like that. I understand all of that. You played like shit. Kaepernick throwing on the run. He had some fucking errant passes to the fucking, you know, like little babies in the stands and shit like that. He played well enough to win. Tomasula, the coach, listen, kudos, bro. Kudos. And from everybody else, they'll say whatever. I know it's one game. I know it's Minnesota. Minnesota's not that bad of a team, though. You know what I'm saying? They're on the right way. Harrison Smith did some crazy shit. I think that hit that he gave him on towards the sideline was kind of fucking crazy, but it may have looked like he was coming in to make a play, technically. But the Vikings are not a bad team. They're not. So this says a lot about the 49ers beating them like that. In my opinion, looking at the Minnesota Vikings roster defensively, they should have played a lot better. Offensively, I thought they had weapons to make plays. With AJ Peterson being back there, you know, hopefully getting guys out the box and making some plays down the field, it didn't happen. You got to give the 49ers credit. And their uniforms, OMG. They lost, though. How you going to beat your son in the dick, get all your fucking probation, canceled, everything is done. Look at this dumb motherfucker at the bottom of the screen doing fucking Chung-Li shit. You guys are dumbass, bro. King-size kick, dumbass. But at the same time, guys, let me just let you know this right now. It's going to be a long season. And you have to give the 49ers credit for starting off because it's all about when you win. It's all about winning. And let me give a shout out to Kelsey. Travis Kelce from the Kansas City Chiefs with those touchdowns and the way he played huge, man. I forgot about that. For anybody that had him on the fantasy, you guys are really, really smart. But to close out the 49ers, man, Tomasula deserves a lot of credit. The 49ers deserve a lot of credit. Everybody doubted them, everything that was going on. You know, Jim Harbaugh being released and all that shit like that. They played well, man. You got to give them credit. Minnesota has a lot of work to do. If you guys are new to the channel, definitely subscribe. There'll be weekly podcasts. Usually on a Tuesday. They'll be released after all the games have been played. You can follow me on Twitter. You can like me on Facebook. You can follow me on Instagram. You can leave comments. and let me know what you think about it. This is also downloadable on any device, iTunes, Android, by simply you can either download the podcast source app on any mobile device. You could do that. You can just get it from iTunes, because I have a contract with iTunes. It goes right to iTunes if you're an Apple guy. But if you're on Android, I have all the descriptions and everything in the description box on how to do that. But it's the podcast source app, and everything is free from GmiasWorld. I don't charge because I don't believe that I'm at that point to charge yet, even though, you know, some people are charging for it. I just want you to enjoy it the way I enjoy all the football games that come on, and hopefully you'll be back for more. That's all I can ask for. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, and I'll see you next time. One love.